3, 2, 1.
International superstar, Miss Butta B-Rocka!
Transparency. Transparency Talks Podcast with Butta B-Rocka. What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Butta B-Rocka, in the building. Listen, we have an amazing show for you guys today. But before I bring on my special guest, I want you guys to make sure that you are elevating your mind. Do something creative. There is so many things that you can do. Write a book, read. There's so many things. Go out for some fresh air, take in nature. There's so many things. But while you are doing some things, make sure you read my book, Fear of Failure, Fear of Not Trying. It is on Amazon and in Barnes & Nobles. And make sure you get my boys magazine, Defiant Ones Teen Magazine. Their 1-year anniversary copy comes out this week. It's dropping on Friday, y'all. So make sure you go get it. I don't even want to tell you, I won't spoil it for you, but it's going to be good. So anyway, without further ado, I would like to bring on Miss Ejene. She is an author, a motivational speaker, and a host, and she's a bullying activist. So without further ado, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
I am doing really, really good. I'm blessed to see another beautiful day, and everything is gravy, man.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just what I always say, we're gonna dive on in. Right. We're gonna just take it. So you are an author, a motivational speaker, and and a bullying activist.
Yes.
So I think it'll probably be important to go ahead and start with the bullying, because that led to the other things.
Absolutely.
So you also have a foundation called the McKinsey Foundation.
Yes.
So can you give us a little insight on that and why you started it?
Yes.
Okay.
So December of 2018, December 3rd to be exact, my 9-year-old niece committed suicide in our family home due to racial bullying in school. And after that, of course, we were devastated. We're still getting, through the healing process. And so, we did a GoFundMe campaign, and it does what it do, when people are, donating to a cause, especially when you don't know what is happening with the funds. And so I was like, I get it. And I wanted to do more. Right. So I had to write a book, and that's what I did, to help fund the foundation. And that's what started me in the author world, to fund the foundation, because I was getting calls to so many different places for motivational speaking, talking about bullying, and then it led to talking about suicide. It also led to domestic violence and just how to work it in the school as a parent, how to document the things that you need to document so that this wouldn't happen to your child. So many different things started adding up, and obviously the information was useful and very rich, that people was like, yo, I want you to come here, and I can only this is in my budget, and I never wanted to say no. And so the book helped fund the places that couldn't pay enough for me to get there, but I wasn't gonna tell them no, because if I can save someone's family from feeling the pain we still feel, it was worth every time I wrote and sold a book. So that's what book 1 comes from. What Death Do We Part? Okay. I wrote that one. It did really well, and so the pandemic hit, and so I kept writing. I was like, hey, why not? I have the time. And bullying never stopped, because even though the kids went virtual school, bullying went from physical to virtual. So I was still being used. I was still not really going so much. We did a lot of the FaceTime like we're doing now. But I went to book number 2, What Death Do We Part, number 2. And so those all dropped this year. The first one was January, the second one was June, and then that led me to book number 3, which I dropped last Sunday on my birthday, Living Life After Death. So, yes.
I mean, you just did a full summary. Woo. Okay, so let's go back. Because I mean, you breezed over it so fast. I mean, it's very serious. First of all, my sincere condolences on the loss of your niece. So she was 9 years old, and you said she committed suicide.
Yeah.
Okay, so was she showing any signs or anything? Because I think that's one of the biggest things that is hard. I have a series of questions for you, but first, was she showing any signs that something was wrong?
Absolutely. We knew, the family knew. I knew. I live in Georgia. They were in Alabama. We all knew. My family, my mom, my sister went to the school. They made calls. But we are from Alabama in a small town, so everybody knew everybody. You know, so the people that my family went and talked to were people that we've been knowing for years. Even some people my mom had worked with in previous occupations, such as mental health, such as human resources, DFACS is what we call it over here. Those are the areas that my mom has worked in over 30 plus years. And so these people that are now in the school were people that she once worked with. So she told them, she took the strength of their word. And, you know, there was some paper trail, you know, but it was a lot of verbal, and it was a lot of, I know you, you know me, you know, take care of my grandchild, take care of my daughter, you know, type of conversations that was had. And so the sign as far as being bullied, yes. The sign for suicide, no. But she was tormented, and, you know, obviously those are the things that was being told to her, you know, to do, just kill yourself, you know.
Wow. I can't imagine. I mean, I have kids. I mean, you have kids. I can't imagine, you know, it being that bad that you are picked on so much that you take your life. So I'm a little speechless right now. If you're tuning in, we are talking to Miss Ejene. She is a bullying activist, a motivational speaker, an author, and a host. And she was just telling us the story about her 9-year-old niece that took her own life from being bullying. So if you know anybody that needs to listen in on this podcast, on this radio show, make sure that you tag them right now and get them on this call. So they don't want to miss this, because we're going to really dive in and get to some serious questions with this. But we are going to have to take a small little break. We're going to take a little music break. And I mean, it's okay. I'm glad we're going to take a music break, but you know, the mood right now is kind of like, oh man, you know, because, you know, I'm sorry about your niece and everything, but we're going to take a break, and hopefully we can raise some elevations right now. So we'll be back. Right now, we are about to play my homegirl, Miss Cece Sunchild, with Being With You.
Being you, I like being with you. There's nothing better. things you do. I like clowning with you, only you, me and you. I like talking with you, and you always pull me through. I like talking to you, only you, me and you. Yeah, only you. Yeah, yeah, only you, me and you. Only you. Yeah, only you, me and you. I like that super, super. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, oh, oh,
So we are back. Again, that was CC Sunchild with Being With You. I absolutely love that song. I want to give a shout out to everyone over at Soul City The Beat over in Italy. Also to my UK family. I am on iHeartRadio. I have my own station. I have my own Pandora station. So make sure you guys check me out at ButtaB-Rocka.com. And on all social media at Butta B-Rocka. So without further ado, we're talking to Miss Ejene. We was just discussing about your niece who unfortunately committed suicide and the reason you started the McKinsey Foundation. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us what are the different types of bullying?
There are several different types. So, you have the physical bullying, and of course now we have is more so virtual than it was before because the kids are in virtual schooling for the most part. There's physical, they can beat kids up, the verbal when they talking about them, the internet with the virtual, when they send in pictures or a conversation, screenshot. A screenshot is a deadly weapon
Really?
when it comes to bullying. Also, especially when now virtual, kids can go into a chat that people don't know about, and they can talk about people that's in the class and what they see in the background. And, some kids are homeless. Some kids, live with other people and they don't have that. They can't, a kid can't control where they live. That's, on the parents. But however, it's so many different things that goes on, and those are different types of bullying. But Mackenzie experienced more of verbal and more of physical, but not like put your head in the toilet physical, but it's just that pushing and the outcasting that took place with her.
Okay. Is there, does age make a difference? How you said she was 9.
She was 9, yeah.
Jesus. So have you found that there is a specific age difference on when kids are getting bullied, or is it throughout school?
It can be throughout school. Of course, it gets harder as they go older because now, as the world and even, individuals, they put so much on name brand, or they put so much on hanging out with the cool kids and doing the so-called cool things. Right. So as they get older, it does get worse, but it starts even in kindergarten because somebody's hair may be different, but kids coming into school only know their environment. Now going into school, you are in multicultural environment and it's different. So just because it's different doesn't mean you can talk about it. Doesn't mean that it won't hurt somebody. Doesn't mean that it's okay to think that it's something that you don't understand. That's when you ask for clarity. Like, well, why do you wear your hair like that? Or instead of saying, oh, that's ugly. It's ugly to you and where you come from. But where I come from, this is what we do. And either is wrong for having their culture, but it is wrong to talk about someone else when you don't know the origin of where it comes from.
Right. So if they're starting in kindergarten and stuff like that, that literally is coming from the household.
It's coming from the house.
Literally.
And I've seen it firsthand. So I work for the school system. In fact, I'm a CDL instructor, so that means I'm a bus driver. So yeah, it comes right out of your door. And
Wow.
they come and show, and whatever they've been taught or seen at home, they give it right to us first day. Day one, we know, that was gonna be a problem. So yeah.
So are there some children more likely to be bullied than others?
Yes, of course. Those that they can, when people pick, the word picking, and they don't fight back.
Right.
Not always because they can't physically fight back. They're just like, listen, I don't want to deal with that. Leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes those kids just they don't really want to be at school or outside of their home because that's their safety net.
Mm-hmm.
And you continue to bother them when they already don't want to be there and they snap.
Right.
And they pick on the kids or the people that are less likely to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely who is picked on, the ones less likely to fight back. And fighting back is not physical fight. That's just, telling them to stop, or they just move out of the way and they just keep going until the child snaps. And then normally when the child snaps, that's when administrators and teachers want to now get involved and say, oh, you did this to that person, but they've been bothering them for all this time. And as an adult in the school system, you can't tell me you don't see it. I see it. You can't say with an honest heart that you don't see those kids that are messing with another child, because I see them. And when I always saw it before my niece passed, I will always stop it because I am the adult in this situation, and adults should stand up and take on that position. It does come with paperwork. It does come with write-ups. It does come sometimes having to talk and explain to parents, but you saw it. Mm-hmm. You know what happened, and you want to save a child's life because you don't know what all is happening within that child. Right. So adults are also to blame for a lot of bullying that takes place in school knowingly, because somebody told you. Because if it's something I missed, I got students that like, hey, such and such did this, or they'll slide me a little note or send me an inbox or whatever on Instagram if they want to be anonymous and just say, hey, don't say I said this, but I watch after I'm told. So you can't say you don't know, because you know.
Right. But I have kids. So, usually when a adult comes in the room, everybody stops. Everything, they try to be slick and, try to act like nothing is going on. So, why does a lot of kids not tell adults, do you think?
Because some of them don't want to be blamed. Because if my kids talk in class and the teacher say, hey, TJ was talking in class. I'm like, TJ, why are you talking in class? And he's like, well, you didn't ask me, why was I talking in class? Or what caused me to respond to what was said to me in class? Those are the questions my kids ask me, because those are the questions that I now have to ask in order to understand why he was talking. So we don't always ask the right questions. Like, yes, they were talking, but who were they responding to and why? When they knew better, especially when you were a parent and you taught your child, and like, no, you know better. Why would you do that? Well, this is what happened. And I'm like, oh, well, let's go and find this whole story. I'm going to need his mama or her mama and them and the teacher. I want everybody to sit down. And then that's where the school is now lacking, because they don't want to be the mediator. They want to talk to us, say it's me and you. Our boys are against each other, or whatever has happened, include our boys. They don't want us to sit and talk. They want to talk to us separately, but you got a story and so do I, and we can't put it together so everybody can come to an understanding, because the schools are scared of whatever situation they are afraid of. House and beat you up. We too grown for that. We should have too much to lose to be talking about fighting over some petty children things. So the school has to get back to that mediation, and that's where the McKinsey Foundation has been coming in, being a mediator to get these families to sit down and talk and find out what the problem is, because there is a problem, and everybody's not wrong and everybody's not right, because it's probably just a communication problem. Right. And once everybody get together and get the story on the table, it's not a fight situation. We are talking and we're going to figure it out.
Right.
And move on from there.
Right. Okay. So I'm really about to tell my age right now, but Back in my day, they used to was this the principal had the paddle, or was it every teacher? I don't know. All I know is that I met that paddle.
Yes.
Serious. I was really mad because I met the paddle at the school for doing something wrong. I think they took me to the principal's office, and I got the paddle there, and then I went home and got the paddle again. So I think if they went back to that type of there wouldn't be as many problems. You know what I mean?
That is true. However, some parents will take it too far.
Yeah, that's true.
We will go into abuse. But the biggest issue, even now, as we've seen virtually, is the parents they don't really know their kids.
Yeah.
Now, they've learned them over the past 6 months, but before then, they didn't know their kids. You assume this because I'm going to tell you the honest truth. As I said, I'm a CDL instructor, meaning I teach others how to drive school buses. So if I'm not driving, I have someone driving that I'm teaching or training or whatever. Mm-hmm. And with that, I can get students to get on my bus and cut a clown. But I tell a teacher that's out there like, that one right there, it give us a whole bunch of, problems. They're like, who, them? Or who, her? They good in class? Oh, really? So kids will leave because of who they know and who has been there the longest, and they know who they can do what with, and so you don't know your kids. But what I do encourage parents is, what did you do as a child? Get with your child just like you, boo. I'm like, if you was a sneaker when you were in school, those genes passed to your child, and God forbid if the father did the same thing. You have a sneaker, my love, so you might want to be careful and very watchful. Very true.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna take a pause for the calls. We are talking to Miss Ejene, and we're talking about the McKinsey Foundation and why she started it and everything. I'm going to take you to my song, "The Storm" by Butta B-Rocka.
This track was produced by the League of Extraordinary Thinkers.
Had to have it, didn't want to give it up. He didn't mean a thing. I put that on everything. Just wanted something different. I put it on the line, threw up the warning sign. Now you have to accept it and play the hand you dealt with. So tell me what we're gonna do, how we're gonna make it through. Cause I still want you. Still know that we still wanna be one another, but how can we go on when we're both done wrong? Should we turn away? I'd rather the storm, weather the storm, weather the storm, weather the storm, weather the storm.
And we are back. That was my song, The Storm by Butta B-Rocka. Thank you very much. We are talking to Ejene. We're talking about the McKinsey Foundation. If you are tuning in, we are talking about really, really good stuff that is very important. We're talking about bullying. Right.
That's her right there.
So, you know anybody that needs to hear this, make sure you tag them right now. So I have some more questions for you. What kind of signs should a parent look for at home? Because, you know, some kids, they're quiet anyway. Or some kids, I don't know. What do you look for?
The first thing is, if you know that your kid only has, you know, a couple of friends or whatever, and then all of a sudden you don't hear them talk about that friend anymore, that could be some signs, because, you know, kids switch up. They're just like adults, they switch up. And so if this person is doing something that they want to do and the original crew is not, then they split away. And so that can cause bullying from that aspect, because the other friends then join them with the new crew.
Mm-hmm.
The new crew picked that child over them, and then they force them to go back and, you know, retaliate against their original crew. So those are some signs if your child's crew switch up. Asking questions. And seriously, I mean, I promise you that. I mean, my daughter has gone through that she had an original crew, and one of the girls wanted to do things that the original crew didn't want to do, and so she went to a new crew, and she tried to put them against each other. Not that they were friends, but they weren't enemies either. Mm-hmm. So she went over there to cause, you know, confusion. And, you know, my daughter was like, look, we're not doing this. And so they started telling us they told me. And then I told all the other parents. I was like, look, girl, this is what's happening. And we need to come together, because we got to stop this right now, because it can go further. And then they all have brothers, and
yeah,
with their sisters or their female, you know, family member that they love, and, you know, they'll start a whole gang war, and that wasn't gonna happen. But that took the adults to be adults and like, we're gonna squash this right now. So that's one sign. If you ask your child, who did you eat lunch with today? And if it's by themselves or with people that they are not used to eating with, and that was when we were in school, that's a sign, because cafeteria is like, you know, the quad, like, you know, HBCU, you are, you know, hey, we chilling with the homies. And if they're isolated, that's a problem. You have to watch those things. Now, sometimes kids get in that mood like, I don't want to deal with nobody, but at least one person might want to check it out. Another sign, of course, is grades drop. And if it drops in a class when they are known to be very strong in, or always had good grades in that particular class, somebody in there bothering your baby. And that's just what I found over the 2 years, and I haven't been wrong yet. So you definitely got to go. And hold on, what class it is? Oh, no. We're going to have a teacher's conference or whatever it takes, because you have to make sure you protect your child at all costs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I had no clue about my own son. My youngest son, Christian, he was bullied. Right. And I did not see any signs. He's just like me, always smiling, very talkative. So, I mean, he was hiding it very well, because when he came home, he acted like everything was still copacetic. You know what I mean? So it wasn't until years later when he started his own clothing line, and I read his biography on why he started his clothing line. I had to read about it.
Right.
Found out that he was getting bullied, and it definitely caught me off guard, because in that instance there was no signs at home. No, his grades were not slipping. None of those types of things. And to my knowledge, he still had the same best friend, and still had this, you know. So I had no clue that these kids were messing with him. So he started his clothing line FI, which stands for Find Your Element. And he finally got to a point where, I guess, you know, at first he was trying to fit in too much, and, you know, because people was picking on him and laughing at him and didn't like him for a lot of reasons or whatever. So he tried to fit in with them and tried to adjust to the way they are. But, you know, every kid is different, and the only person you can be is you. So eventually, I guess he got to a point where it was like, no, enough is enough. I know who I am. And, he started standing up for himself. And then he started also standing up for other kids at the school and ended up winning the Compassion Award, which that should have been a sign right there that something happened. But he's just a very sweet young man. So again, I didn't even know then. I was like, oh, I can see that because he's very, he's very helpful and very, do you need anything and all that type of stuff. So I had no clue that he was being bullied for a long time. And it made me feel helpless because I am one of the mothers that absolutely would have came up to that school and would have got that handled right then and there. He wouldn't have had to go through, as long as he did. But what was crazy, or not crazy, but in his mind, he didn't want to tell me because he thought that I was going to go loco, which is true. I would have, I would have handled it. But he wasn't afraid that I was going to accuse him. He knew that I would believe him, but he didn't want to tell me because he thought that I would overreact or that I would make a bigger scene and then have not only that kid messing with him, but other kids now calling him a rat or a tattletale or whatever word there is now. I don't know the new words for now.
I know, right?
For this age group, I don't know it, but he didn't tell me for those type of reasons.
Right.
So, there's different sides of why people don't tell you things. You know what I mean? And again, there was no sign. So I had to find out by reading it in his biography. So
those kids all come from a home where strength is taught. That's how he was able to keep going. But he not only learned it, but he put it into his daily use. So sometimes as parents, we don't know the things that we speak into our kids is really helping them when we don't even know it.
Yeah.
What he was taught at home, he was using in the real world. And he was bullied because they wanted him to be something he was not.
Right.
And he tried, and they bullied him even in the trying stage. And he was like, I give up. Like, I don't have to do this. This is not who I am. Forget y'all, And he moved on. And some of those kids, probably went to different schools and may actually not be alive right now. I mean, it's so when kids are like that and they are so adamant about taking over and controlling someone else's life, they don't, until they make a change, they don't go on a good path.
Yeah, I've found that typically hurt people. If you get what I'm saying, and although of course it's wrong for a bully to mess with people, it also makes me think of, well, what is going on with them that they are lashing out?
Well, that's where we were going. That's where I was going to take us. In doing bullying, that's what I found, that the home is where it all starts. Mm-hmm. And you said hurt people, and don't get healed. That's when mental illnesses and mental health and counselors come into play. And those are the people that I have on that works with the McKinsey Foundation. When I go out and talk to people, when people send me to kids that are trying to commit suicide and things of that nature, I bring my therapist with me. Like we go, when I say we go, we FaceTime and doing those things, talking to these families and these children, because there is a mental breakdown. They are losing it from things that are happening at home, and they go and take that into the school system and bother our kids that had nothing to do with it. So it is in the home, and the things that they're seeing and the things that are being allowed in the home that you might, that's just no, everything that's cute to you is not cute in the real world. That'll get them killed. So reel that in and raise your kids with a reality mindset and not what your home is. Like your home has to reflect reality, and you have to teach these lessons. And what has really bothered me the most with this pandemic and the Black Lives Matter movement is that everybody want to holler, we wasn't taught in school. It wasn't supposed to be. We should be doing it at home, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So we have to take responsibility for the things that our kids take out of our home, because it has to start at home.
But what if you can't I don't know. What if you can't really handle your kid and you already can tell that your child is a problematic kid? Should you not have them in school? Like, I don't know.
Say that, because in fact, I'm glad you said that. There was a parent. I was at this bullying event, and she stood up with her son. She said, "My son has been a bully for such and such years, and as soon as I found out, I made sure that I got him help." She took him to counseling sessions. Now, he was a tough kid, so she actually had to put him in like the juvenile place so that he can get a reality check. Mm-hmm. And when parents know that, take the initiative right now to get your child that help, because you know that I didn't know he was doing that. Maybe not, but those that know, I commend you, because we need you. And I say we because I lost Mackenzie to a child who parent know their child was a terror. So, you knew that. You knew that. I saw your Facebook post of all the things you said your child used to do and did. So, you knew. So, get the child the help, mental health. Some insurance will pay for the mental health, the Department of Mental Health, to get your child a psychiatrist and be seen. And not necessarily, I'm not for the medicine. I'm not. But I am for the therapy, and I am for the programs and the plans that is customized to each individual person, because everything doesn't work for everybody. You have to customize it. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to take a pause for the calls. We are talking to Ejene. I am your girl, Butta B-Rocka. We are about to play my homeboy, Neff 150, all the way from the ATL. This is Tiffany, y'all.
I don't need no sympathy. I don't need for you to be here today and fade away. Here tomorrow and leave my heart in sorrow. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Oh, baby.
Come take a walk, come and build with me here. Pick a spot, now sit and watch how the hood's with me. We put in work, conversation at a minimum. I'm straightforward, no loose ends, remember who? Stick to the script, blueprint of an architect. Strictly about business, that other step off with that. I'm cold-hearted when it comes to my cash flow. I switch lanes if you ain't got good brain, that's my last. Terrible, ain't it? Fourth quarter flow so faded. I brush them off like I just finished painting. But young, the straight villains, they don't know how to chill. What can you tell the hungry who gotta search for his meals? And that precious we don't know about. Keep the sawed off in the couch. That's the I learned in the South. New Jersey birthed me. Atlanta adopted me. Internationally known, so ain't nobody stopping me. Treated like monopoly and trap house your property. Bootleg your backyard and had the hood work for me. Yeah. Bosses do what bosses do. Feel me? Yeah, I never really cared for the bully type. You cross me wrong, I show you what that bullet like. Too many haters, too many envy, too many skill. Too many fake, too many thinking they real. See out here, you gotta watch who you deal with. Cause anybody and everybody ain't who to chill with. See Marvin Gaye used to tell us how to sex a woman. Never did he elaborate on how to respect a woman. I take it serious, point blank period. Yeah, I laugh and joke, but truthfully I ain't feeling it. You lightweight fam, you don't understand my plan. I'm trying to brand my new shit in Japan. You thinking locally, see everything I write is like poetry. Can't compare you to me at all, I'm poetry. Streets may tell you what you want, but I ain't hearing it. Everything that I learned off experience. Divine showed me how to hustle, no fear for it. Major move, making clear that you can see I'm living it.
I don't need no sympathy. I don't need for you to be here today and fade away. Here tomorrow and leave my heart in sorrow. I love you. I love you. I
That was Neff 150. I absolutely love that song. He was jamming, man. He was jamming all the way from the ATL. I want to give a shout out to So City the Beat over in Italy. I want to give a shout out to my people that's checking in over in Japan, UK, of course, the US of A, and Canada. So what's up, everybody? Make sure that you log on, check us out. I'm on Pandora. I have my own Pandora station on the Butta B-Rocka. I'm on iHeartRadio, Spotify. Holla at your girl. So, you was telling us about the McKinsey Foundation, and we was discussing a lot about bullying and everything. So that led to you publishing 3 books. Your first book is called What Deaf Do We Part? How did you come up with that name?
Well, glad you asked. So I would be so, oh, there it is. That makes more sense right there. Okay, cool. So What Deaf Do We Part? It's about a marriage. It's about a marriage. And when you get married, you always say in your vows, until death do us part. Well, 9 out of 10 times when you do that in the beginning, because you're like, oh, we're gonna be together forever, and your death do we part, until death do we part is a physical death. Well, in this book, there's other deaths that take place within a marriage or relationship that cause you to separate. So what death do we part? Mm-hmm. What will be the last thing that you're going to take that you're no longer going to deal with that's going to cause you to call it quits? So that's where the title comes from. What death do we part?
Right. Now, I mean, that's a good play on words. I ain't gonna lie. I'm feeling it. So, what death do we part 2 talking about?
Well, all of these books are post Mackenzie's death, so everything, it seems as if it's around death, but there is life in all of my books. So the lesson in the first book, What Death Do We Part, is if you knew in 30 days that the person that you've been with, your ride or die, y'all been through hell and high waters and back, and you just know, and y'all made a few mistakes here and there, who doesn't? If you knew they were going to die in 30 days, would that matter? Would getting separated or divorcing really matter? Was the toothpaste being squared from the top or the bottom? Would it really matter? Would cutting the grass left to right versus right to left, would it matter? Would those small petty things that we pick out and nitpick, would it matter if you know you would never see them again? That's the lesson in death. What death do we part 1? The lesson in What Death Do We Part number 2 is that you can pick up the pieces and move on, but sometimes life will hit you with something so hard that you're just speechless. You're like, what? Because in What Death Do We Part number 2, the ending of that is when the family of the character finds out about the death of her niece. And it just really throws you back. You know, it's like, we just talked. We just had all of these things planned, and it's really a here today, gone tomorrow type of situation. And what are you going to do with the time spent right now with those that you love? Before we move on to living life after death. Now, this one is all the way different. Like, it's all the way different. And it is, the lesson in this is that we have to get our mental health checked. There are 5 stages of grief that is talked about in this book. But in the beginning of the book, the author goes off. She goes off. If anybody has experienced a very close loved one, a parent, a niece, a nephew, a sister, a brother, a cousin, an aunt that's really close, you know how people think they're entitled to your business, entitled to tell everybody how, when, and where your loved one died. She go off. She tell everybody that she wanted to face cuss out. She do it right here in book number 3. And if you don't get your mental health checked, this book is also goes into the paranormal world. So it's more of a fiction, science fiction type book. Is why you see the people floating and the mean face here. Things that happen that you saw, but you didn't see, because nobody else saw it. So now you question, now why did I see it? You know? So book 3 is very interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
It sounds like book 3, you fully just purged and just got it all out.
I mean, I'm talking about everything came out of book number 3, baby. Book number 3, sweetheart.
Book number 3, tell it like it is.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, the author went on in. You know how people have those barbecues and those fish fries when somebody died and they're gonna get such a yep. She talked about you right here.
So you have a couple of family members that's upset with you basically because they didn't read it and they're like, oh, she was talking about me.
No, they don't be mad. It's the people that's in the community that's gonna be mad, and I want them to, but you gotta pay to read the book. So enjoy yourself. You're gonna either pay 99 cents, you're gonna pay $14.99. Either way, you gotta pay to read what I said. It don't come free. So since you didn't give your portion of your proceeds to Mackenzie's family, you're gonna give it to it now that you ordered this book.
All right. Okay. That was funny. So how can people find your books?
Yes, so my books are all on Amazon. They're 99 cents on Kindle ebook, and they are $14.99 for paperback. And of course, seriously, the proceed goes to helping the Mackenzie Foundation as I continue to talk with, be a mediator for families that don't know how to stand up against these school systems. I work in one. I worked in 2 actually in the state of Georgia. Honey, come on with it because I know the rules inside and out. Yes, certain things do change from county to county and state to state, but overall, the paperwork is the same. And so we can get the paperwork done to make the complaint that you're looking to make to the school locally, inside the school, to the board, to the state board, and even to take it on, further to the federal level. So I'm your girl because these are the things that I have to deal with that I do help families take care of.
Okay. And how can people support the Mackenzie Foundation?
Absolutely. So you can go to the Mackenzie Foundation GoFundMe page. It is still up. You can go in and support there. And it'll just keep us going, and I never sold these. These have never been sold by me. I give this to every person I meet, I talk to, any event I go to, and they're actually mirrors. So these are super cool. I do have the actual button, but it's somewhere else anyway. But this one is a mirror, and it's so handy because it'll come in handy, but you will always see my baby girl and you will reflect on her story. And when you see it, you will help someone because you just, looked at her picture like, oh my God, that little face, and your heart melts. And so you want to help others not take that road that she traveled.
Okay. So there is a couple of other things. You are now a political hopeful for an elected seat on the Henry County School District. So tell us a little bit about that.
So this is it right here. Edwina for Education 2020. So yes, I am early in campaigning, but however, I want the people to learn who I am from this point forward. I'm very transparent. I want my students that I used to drive, they will be 18 by then. So I want all of my students to vote. I want them to understand I'm here for them. Finally, somebody's there for them, because as parents, we only know, as we both know, what our kids tell us. As a person that goes into the school, that's why I can check my kids a little different, because I'm like, I just came out of a meeting and I saw it, so don't even try me. So I know a little more than what an actual a regular parent would know, because I have the badge and I can get in and out of the school.
Right.
So, that being said, there are some things like we're sending our kids back to school and we're supposed to wash our hands in warm water. There's no warm water in these schools. I don't know who told y'all that. The school always had cold water. So those are things parents don't know. I'm sending my kids to this nice building, but they don't have cold, hot water. They don't have hot water. Okay. Some bathrooms have gone in as a driver. And the tissue had a pin in it, a nail. So you can only get one little square. So you wonder why your child's behind. It's not clean. Well, they can't, because they can't pull that for. Those are just little small things.
Right.
You don't understand where scholarship goes kind of on the side of the town that's not the same color that's in your house. Why? Why does those things happen?
Right.
Why are scores lower in one area than the other? There's
Right.
a lot of things that parents won't know because you're not inside, but I've been inside and I won't go deeper inside and I'm gonna be working for my parents. So that's why I'm running. Of course, it's to change policies dealing with bullying because they still take it lightly and it's not a light subject or matter because she died from bullying. So it's real. So I come in with that, of course, from a driver's perspective. Drivers don't make the money you think they make. They cut the money up in a way that is the everyday math versus what we learn in real life. They don't get paid what it looks like they get paid. And so it's a lot of things that goes on inside of the school system, a lot of money that is being given from the government that don't make it to the teachers and the drivers or even the resources for our students, especially those that are African American.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm going to have that change.
Well, you said it. You said it. So how can people find you?
Well, let me see. Facebook, I'm Edwina Janae Adams, which hence Ejene. E is Edwina, Janae is my middle name, so Ejene, that's me. It's on Facebook, and then Ejene_1 is on Instagram, and then yeah, I have the author Ejene page. I have the Ejene page on Facebook. Just go to my link tree. It has all of it. And I also have authorejene.com, which is my website, and I have all links to my book and all upcoming events that I have. Speaking of upcoming events, October the 3rd, I am going to be hosting, the Mackenzie Foundation will be hosting our first virtual bullying event. So if you guys can tune in, because I have a therapist, I have different teachers, and we're going to talk about what they know, which is why I love what I do. I can get those people that's on the inside. I even have a board of education member that will come and speak to the people about what's going on virtually and how bullying affects us still in a virtual world.
Okay. Well, there you have it, everybody. I want to take this time to thank you for being a part of the show. I am your girl, Butta B-Rocka. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. We have been speaking to Miss Ejene, and I'm going to close this out with the Black Betties All Night. See you guys later.
Thank you.
I know it's been a long day. Let me take off your shoes. Tonight we're switching roles, babe. Let me cater to you. I got plans for you. Here's what I wanna do. I wanna take my time, ease your mind, lay back and enjoy the ride. Oh. I can love you. Baby, forget all night what you're feeling like. Change your life. Come and give me what I want, babe. I'ma give you what you need, babe. All night, all night, all night. Come and give me what I want, babe. I'ma give you what you need, babe. All night. Can't get enough. There's so much
what you need.